What's going on, guys, and welcome back to episode 82 of the Offshore Gamescast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dylan. And today we're joined by Lile from Lile's Indie Corner.
Hi! Hello!
Hello!
How goes it?
It goes very well, thank you.
Yeah,
How's it
thanks for
going
coming
with you?
on.
Thank you for
We're
having
sleepy.
me!
We're sleepy.
Yeah, you are very sleepy, and I'm very, very awake.
Yeah, we got
It's the middle of the day for me.
our coffees ready to go, and you got your box juice, and everyone's all ready.
No. One of us has coffee. We've
Yeah, the only one
established that we are
in his
firmly
right mind.
anti-coffee here.
Yeah, we are the anti-coffee revolution.
Oh yeah, I'm down for a revolution.
I'm going to start my army of coffee drinkers, and we're going to take a spoon, and we're just going to scoop your eyes out and stir all the sugar in.
Oh god. That got violent so quickly.
Yeah, that's what he does.
It's all right. It just hit 9 a.m., so it's time for violence.
Oh yeah, of course.
Hmm.
So if you don't know Lile from commenting on all of our YouTube videos or interacting with us on social media or her guest posts on our website, she has a YouTube channel called Lile's Indie Corner. So Lile, what do you do over there?
I play a lot of indie games and I do reviews. I do top 5 videos. I made one on top 5 soundtracks, for example. So just indie and AA goodness, leaving the AAA stuff to other people.
I mean, Dave and I have said it multiple times over the last couple of years that more and more it feels like those indie titles carry some years.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
especially last year, I feel like. That
Mhm.
was a very slow year for AAA titles. And
Yep,
there's
everyone's-
so much good stuff coming too.
Everyone's trying to win awards, and no one's trying to have fun anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I remember the level of excitement when Maneater was releasing, and I'm like, I just get to play a shark and just fuck around and just destroy things. Like, that just seems like the most 360-esque game, and I'm so down for it.
Yeah, it's just the creativity, I think, in the indie space is so
Mhm.
expensive, because in the AAA it's really, you have to make money because these companies spend so much making the games, and
Mhm.
with indie games there's still like solo developers just doing it for shits and giggles. So
hmm
Yeah, no, that's definitely where most of the innovation from games comes nowadays.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it's time for our shameless plug, Dave.
Ugh.
OffshoreGamescast.com/merch. If you're watching this on video, look at Dave's shirt. Look at Lyle's shirt. It is the last day today for the site-wide sale. You get t-shirts for $14. Everything else is on sale. Last day. So get in there and do that. Also, if you cannot support us monetarily, we understand that. But please leave us a rating, a review on whatever podcast platform you're on. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We have more and more video going up these days. We appreciate that as well. That helps us a lot. All right, let's move on to games.
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 I started Fire Emblem Engage this week.
Yes, you
Now,
did.
I have not played a Fire Emblem game since, I don't remember which one it was. It was either on the DS or the 3DS. And that one did not hook me. And for whatever reason, I decided to skip what's considered one of the best one with 3 houses and jump into Engage instead.
Mhm.
So I'm jumping right in. I put it on normal but classic. So if one of my people in my party, if they die, that's it. It's permadeath. They are gone from the game forever. There's no more them. So you wake up, you can choose your gender, and they both look really cool. Very blue and red. So like
Mhm.
half of each of their hair is just blue or red, and then it like intertwines. And they're dragons.
Oh, they
Sounds very
themselves are?
anime.
So yes, it is very anime so far. So okay, you're referred to as a divine dragon, and you've been asleep for 1,000 years after you helped with this crazy war, and you have no memory, which is also very JRPG cliche. Waking up with no memory. You can summon. You get these rings. So like you start out with one ring, and that lets you summon past emblems, which are all like past protagonists from Fire Emblem games. So
No,
like
sorry. Are the Fire Emblem games, do they all have rings? Like, is that the thing, or is that like
I-
this game?
I don't know because so you start with one ring and it lets you summon a past protagonist. So like you start with Marth, and then he
Mhm.
kind of like fights side by side with you, and you can engage with him, which you kind of like join. You kind of join together into one being.
Is there like a quick time
Right?
event for getting down on one knee or something?
Yes, it's very romantic every time you engage.
And the fact there's 12 of these bitches, that's a
Yeah,
lot. That's a
so
lot of commitment.
there's 12 of them, and that's why I'm not sure because I feel like at some point that would just get out of control for Fire Emblem if they keep adding the protagonist from the last game.
Now, there's 12 rings in
Yeah, I only
canonically in
have one.
Fire Emblem. So canonically in Fire Emblem, do all characters have 6 fingers on each hand? Because there's no. What are you gonna do with those last 2 rings?
I don't know, but I do believe. Hear me out. I do believe it's
I'm
possible
listening.
to wear 2 rings on one finger.
But who's gonna be happy like that? Have you ever worn 2 rings and walked out of the house with a smile on?
I don't think I've ever walked out of the
Do you
house
think you're
wearing a
gonna walk
ring
out of the
ever.
house with 2 rings on and think you're gonna take out the fell dragon after 1,000 years?
You can
You're
make
skipping
earrings
ahead.
out of 2 of them. And wear
Yeah.
them as
Well, okay.
Ooh,
earrings.
yeah.
Okay.
There you go. You
Oh,
just attach a little hook and poke a hole in your ear.
yeah,
I
exactly.
got a bunch of toes that I don't use, so.
Okay, so yes, Fell Dragon, bad. That's who you fought 1,000 years ago. They're coming back, and that's why everyone's like, oh, that's probably why you woke up.
Can I also say, I don't know, do either
Yeah.
of you guys watch a lot of either Prime TV or I've been watching a lot of Hell's Kitchen, and specifically it's one of those things. It's like, oh, it's freebie, so it's like every few 6-7 minutes you get ads, and I swear every
Yeah.
6 to 7 minutes every episode, after 1,000 years the fell dragon reawakens. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching the same 2 trailers for Fire Emblem over and over, and every time it comes up, I'm like waiting to say the thing, but it's the other trailer, and I get really let down. But so hold on. So after
Yeah.
1,000 years, the fell
Yeah.
dragon reawakens. But like
Yeah.
you're a dragon too. You're a divine
So
dragon.
I'll
But you
I'll
have
get there.
12 fingers. There's so much going on
No.
here.
12 fingers. That's fanfic. We'll get to the dragon part though.
I want canonical more fingers.
So there is definitely a lot of campiness in the English dialogue, which also tends to be the case with JRPGs when they get translated over to English. Very campy. That is full on here. But after a while, that kind of becomes endearing once you kind of get through the initial hump of the campiness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still pretty early, but so far gameplay is fun. I'm not really big into these tactical games, which I know grumpy gamers, those guys over there will get very upset if I mix up strategy and tactical. So I don't know exactly what to call this. I'm gonna call it tactical. But everything on the UI it makes life easy and makes it so you don't have to go into a bunch of menus. So for example, you select a unit. It tells you how far each one can move. Each space arrow, because it's like a grid, every space you go to, it will let you know if an enemy will be able to attack you in that spot the next turn. And then also next to each enemy, depending on the unit you select, it will let you know if they are weak to whatever that enemy has equipped, which breaks them and then they can't attack back. Yes, Dave.
So I've been watching a lot of the trailers, as I've mentioned, and so I've at work I've been hearing over 2 employees speak about the game. So I've been listening, I've been watching,
right.
I've been keeping.
All right.
So here's my limited knowledge. It's a
Yeah.
grid strategy game, and you're moving
Yes.
your little chess pieces, and
Yep.
they do that. But at what point do we transition over into that what seems to be real time fighting between like you and the enemy? Is it like
Okay.
you guide your dude 6 spaces here and it meets up with this dude and then you kind of turn into that?
Essentially, yes. You're not actually controlling that. So that
Oh.
is, yeah, like you get in range for, like, you have some units that are ranged attacks, so they could be like a few spaces away, or melee where you have to be like right next to them on the grid. And then you choose attack, and it will let you know right there, also very smart UI. When you choose attack right in the bottom, it lets you know, like, okay, you'll hit first for 12 damage, then they'll hit you for 3, then you can hit them for another 12 and they'll die. So
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
UI wise.
it straight up lets you know, especially since units, if you're playing on classic mode, have permadeath. It is nice to know, like, oh, hey, they will die if I do this attack here. I'm not going to do it.
How is it
so it's roughly like
difficulty-wise?
So I'm still very early. I'm like just getting through the prologue. I've done a few fights. Not difficult so far, but I'm sure it will get there. I'm sure I will have people die, but I enjoy that immersion in games typically, so I'm here for that pain. I'm here for the death.
How much of the combat leans more towards like that sort of auto style thing? Like you said, oh, you'll attack for 12, 3, 12. So you already know that they're going to die roughly.
That is the combat.
So, but like even so, like you're just watching like a little cutscene when they're attacking. It's just like a little auto thing.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Can you skip that?
I'm pretty sure you can. I have not yet because I think the fighting is cool when it's happening. But yes, I would definitely imagine you can. There is also an option for auto battle altogether, so you could just jump into a fight, turn on auto battle, and then the game just does it for you. But again, permadeath. I don't trust that because I'm sure it's not as good as me. We have to talk about the mom in this game. So this is where dragons come in. So your mom is there.
I'm looking at the note that just says mom.
Mom.
It
so
just straight up says mom.
I'm up to
I
that.
have a lot of thoughts about this mom. So
ooh.
Does
this go any way back?
Are you engaged with her too?
What? Oh well.
Oh no!
Well,
does this come back to the Jennifer Lawrence movie Mother at all?
No. No, it does not. So, your mom. Okay, first, you're in a fight and you're saved by a giant dragon who then morphs into a human that's your mom. So, this is where I'm not sure about the dragon thing because she's a divine dragon. You're called a divine dragon. I've never turned into a dragon, but I've seen her very clearly turn into a dragon. So, I would assume, being her child, I can turn into a dragon at some point. Maybe when I have all 12 rings, I'll join together with all the past protagonists and we form a dragon, kind of like Power Rangers.
Is this one of those JRPGs that falls under the genre of like strategy, fucking convoluted dragons, you know?
Too early for me to know about convoluted, but strategy and
you're telling me that my mom's a dragon and I'm a dragon, but I'm not yet a dragon. None of this it sounds convoluted to me, dude.
Okay, so I don't know if this is part of the translation with the campiness, but obviously a mother, after her child has been asleep for 1,000 years in a coma, child wakes up, she's gonna be very happy. It comes off way too happy. Like it does like the close in zoom up of the face and kind of like the upper torso, and she's like, tomorrow can we go on a walk together and chat, you pinky promise?
Oh god, no.
It was multiple things, and it also showed a cutscene where she was like by herself, so you're not actually hearing this, and she's like, we can spend every day together all the time now, I can't wait to be with him. And it's a little like, are you sure you're my mom, or are you like into me?
Death loop. 12 minutes. More.
Yeah, I guess that's becoming a thing in video games these days, I guess.
If this game didn't get delayed, it would have fallen right into the incest of the rest of the games that released last year.
Wait, last year? What was last year?
What
was 12 minutes of Deathloop both last year?
What is with Deathloop?
Oh, Deathloop incest, partial. 12
kind
minutes,
of, yeah.
100% incest.
Yeah, I mean, 12 minutes, yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I hated that twist so much.
Spoiler alert for those that haven't played Deathloop yet, even though we've talked about this a little bit in the past.
We hate Deathloop.
Yeah, we don't like Deathloop. Throughout the whole game, you're this guy in Deathloop, and there's this girl who is killing you constantly and resets the time loop, and you have to start over. You could chat with her over like a walkie-talkie. You are flirting with her a lot. Like, oh yeah, I wish I would wake up with you next to me in bed. Stuff like that. It turns out she's your daughter. So, yeah, that happened.
No, okay.
Yeah, so the video games are really, let's just jumping into it.
Yeah.
Mom, yeah, so that's Fire Emblem. So still very early. I hope I turn into a dragon at some point. Although I will say, this is very much a me thing. I don't like when there's dragons, right? And then they're in their dragon form and they're just like, come with me. Like just talking in like their normal human voice as a dragon. Something about that like skeeves me out. I don't know why, but I don't
want
like
to come with me.
Yeah, it would be a lot better if it was that. It was, come on, we gotta go.
Like, imagine Yormonger from God of War being like, hey, Atreus, what's up? What do you need?
It's just like that. I don't like that.
That would be terrible.
Oh, you bought Sindri. Oh, what's up, man?
Well, this should be... I don't know. We'll see if I talk as a dragon, if I even talk into a dragon. But I am called Divine Dragon.
You're going to talk into a dragon?
Talk as a dragon.
And
listen up!
Dragon.
Where are them damn rings at? Oh!
Well, it's maybe the Fell Dragon's also a dragon, so maybe I will,
Well, the Fell Dragon is a dragon. They showed it in the trailer that I watched like 40 times.
Oh, I haven't
They also
seen that.
told me 40 times that after 1,000 years, he reawakened.
In the beginning of the game, in the very prologue opening cutscene from 1,000 years ago, I fight the Fell Dragon, and it's just a dude, not a dragon.
Well,
Like
when the
mom.
trailer comes up and the words Fell Dragon are spoken, I'm looking at what looks like a dragon or just a really big cobra. But you know what? Semantics. But I'm going to believe that that's the Fell Dragon. And here's the thing. Okay, is the mom the Fell Dragon? I mean, the Fell Dragon is a stupid-ass name because it just sounds like history's going to repeat itself and he's going to fell again.
That is what happens. History does repeat itself. That's like the whole thing.
Oh my god.
It happens like every 1,000 years. Without going into spoiler territory, I feel very confident that Mom is not Fell Dragon. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. You are the Fell Dragon. You are your mother, and you are the 12 rings, and
that
you're
is
the
all
12
possible.
fingers.
I cannot confirm or deny that. All right, that's Fire Emblem. Dave, talk about something else.
I want to play it. It's hitting that point where I start a game and I'm getting nervous again. Because what if I don't like it?
Uh-oh.
So I just got to the 3rd island in Sonic, which is 3 of 5, and I'm hitting that point of what if it's getting too repetitive and it's just so empty and it's just gonna end up really flatlining towards the end, because the narratively we're going on our path. You know, we have the little digital girl who's like Eggman's creation, and she's kind of like becoming self-aware, so every island she's getting smarter, but like it's gonna happen, so I already know that that's happening. After 2 islands now, I've had to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds and then beat a big boss, so I'm gonna do that 3 more times. And then there's just gonna be a brand new island to look at, and then just go on some loop-de-loops. And I'm like, yeah, you have the different islands. So it's like Amy's the first one, and you're going through her whole shtick. Then you got Knuckles on the second one. I'm going through Tails now, and I feel like one of my biggest gripes when it came to something like Assassin's Creed Valhalla is it felt like there was no real substance there, and the entirety of that 80-hour story is, all right, let's go to this new land, let's make some friends. All right, let's go to this new land, let's make some friends. And that's all you're doing. So all we're doing in Sonic is just going, running around an empty island, collecting the 7 emeralds again, 5 times in a row? And I'm just like, it's gonna get stale. It's gonna get boring. I'm gonna be bored, and I'm just gonna get to the point where I just want to like turn my brain off and do something for an hour, and then come back to it. I just
You need
That's
to.
kind of why I stopped playing open world games for a long while, because
Mhm.
that's just been my experience for the past couple of years, where I've been like, this is just getting boring after 10 hours, and I
I
don't
mean,
want to
there's
do
still
it anymore.
some that release that have either a set of mini games or something else to like propel it. But for something like Valhalla, if you look at its core story of just going and meeting new people, helping them out with their one little issue, and then you're just friends leading up to one big battle. So that's just getting repetitive. And then this with this. But like, especially with something like this, where it's just so empty at the same time that it has nothing else to it, you're just constantly running. You're constantly collecting these same little things. You're constantly just, and so much of the, at least when it comes to Sonic's main stories, whenever a cutscene pops up, I feel like they're in a completely different mood than they were 5 minutes ago. And at the same time, everything is just so casual. Where like they're running around,
Well-
and like one of the narrative things is they're helping these little ball rock guys, and like they
Yeah.
have these alien souls, and like you're trying to help them like basically they're ghosts and they're trying to move on. It falls under convoluted in the fucking JRPG bullshit. But like they're
Sonic, the
walking up.
classic JRPG.
I mean, this game feels just like a straight up. Everything is based off Japanese this, Japanese that. This game is just Dragon Ball. It's just Dragon Ball, but you're fast. You just gotta go fast. That's all it is. And I just feel like it's just so. It's like a colander. Everything of substance is just slipping through the holes, and you're just running.
I don't know what a colander is.
That's
Me
because
neither.
you're an it. What?
Oh yeah. You see, you can't. You have to take that back because you can't call her an idiot because you don't know her well enough yet.
That's why I'm calling you an idiot. But she gets a pass because yes, this is new. How the fuck do you not know what a colander is?
Now I want to Google it. How do you spell that word?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Pretty sure it's COLLINDER.
It's not.
COLAND. Either way, I know what it does.
Oh yeah, one of those
Fucking
things.
fucking idiot.
Never heard it called that before.
That's what
I
it's
don't
called.
think I have the right thing. It doesn't matter. Go on.
You need one to make pasta. That's what you do.
Yeah, it's like the bowl with the holes in it so you can drain out the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
any normal person on the side of the road will call it a strainer because that's what it is. But any normal person who
Yeah.
grew up Italian it's a colander.
Well, I am 0% Italian. Lyle, I don't know if you have any Italian.
No.
Well,
I'm
Just
not
my
an-
name.
Did I say that I was Italian? I grew up Italian. There's a difference.
Okay, well, I also didn't grow up Italian at all.
I did. And that's why I'm so tough.
Listen, you need to roll back this Sonic talk a little bit because just last week we named Sonic Frontiers the best Sonic game ever.
But that's the thing, because at the same time, at least for Sonic games that I have played, this is the best Sonic game ever. But maybe it's just the way my brain works. I don't want to be running around because it's like I feel like when it came out, I was excited. I wanted to get into it and like see what it has for me. And now that I'm like, what, 13, 14 hours in, done with the first 2 islands, if this is just going to be the same formula, please do something different. Because I don't care if you're changing up like the bosses that have slightly different ways of fighting them and taking them out in under a minute, but it's not enough. And especially like a very little thing is the fact that because of how the game runs and whatnot, it has that thing like wherever you're looking, things will load up there. So even if something's like 100 feet away, it probably hasn't even loaded in yet, which makes it one of the most annoying things when you are trying to find out either how to get up to like when there's something very high up in the sky or like a very long thing. It's like, here's a little circle that I have to jump through to get on this rail. How the fuck do I get to that circle? And I'm running around for minutes just looking, how the fuck do I get up there?
Is that a Switch problem?
No.
No?
I'm playing on PS5 and the draw distance is also, it's that.
Yeah, it's just the way the game is.
Which I guess that the sacrifice was, hey, you can't have this game where you're running around super fast, like have any performance issues. But games have run good with better draw distance.
I wish they made it easier to level up your speed and like rings to collect compared to how easy it is to level up your attack and defense. Because my attack and defense are in like the 40s right now, and my ring collection is at 1 because I want as much speed, and my speed's only at 12.
Also, ring collection doesn't seem like it's
important whatsoever.
No, you just need to always have one ring on you, and then you're fine.
Yeah, and especially if you have like the base limit is 400 rings, you get that, boom, you're fast. Like it doesn't take long to get that at all, and I just want to be faster. To which I wrote in my notes, I just got to go faster.
Well, you also wrote on your notes that you are on the Thor Disneyland now, and I don't know what that means.
You did write that.
Well, what it was supposed to say is on the 3rd island now. I don't know how the autocorrect put that in the blender and got poured out as that smoothie, but that's the wrong flavor.
The Thor Disneyland. The crossover we've all been waiting for.
That would be cool, Thor Disneyland, I think.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the Sonic and the Kingdom Hearts combination.
I'm down.
Speaking of convoluted,
those would fit weirdly well together, I think.
Oh, of course they would. And it just because no one cares. Everyone's just confused.
It would be Sora being like super earnest about everything, and then Sonic like, yeah, man, let's go fast, and then running away. It would be like perfect.
Oh no, Goofy's dying. Yeah, he's going fast. We gotta save him.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. All right, Lyle, talk to me about your game, because I actually really want to know about this one.
Yeah, I've been playing Blacktail, which is from a Polish studio. It's a retelling of the Slavic folk tale of Baba Yaga, which I guess some people are familiar with, or at least have heard about it, have watched horror movies about it.
Yeah, horror movies have come out Baba Yaga inspired.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Baba Yaga knows the end of the world.
Probably.
Baba Yaga. Well, that's the whole thing. They were very like spiritual and like big. They were like the Nostradamus in a way.
Who? I lost the plot already.
Nostradamus, Colander. What the? Am I the only one here with like a dictionary in his head? But
I'm German. That's my excuse. I don't know all the words.
Nostradamus, he's the dude who's like,
like
9/11's gonna happen, and then it did. So that's what Baba Yaga is. Baba Yaga is like.
I thought Baba Yaga. Let me look up Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga is like your quintessential witch character. She kind of.
Dylan, are you thinking of the Babadook?
I think I am. Yes. Yes. I was thinking of something very different than just like a witch. Yes. I was thinking
Baba Yaga.
She's a witch and either helps or hinders any hero who comes across her way, and she's this like
Catwoman.
Well, much less sexy, I would imagine. She's like this big black
that's
tentacle monster. That's very hentai, but I
was gonna say I think someone would be like.
But yeah, it's a first-person bow and arrow shooter game.
You see, whenever we get like on a conversation and it's like I'm not the one speaking, whenever someone's talking about a game, I always like kind of open up a new tab. So I'm watching the Blacktail trailer right now, and bow and arrow games are my fucking shit, and I'm watching this and I'm getting excited.
It plays very, very cool, very, very nicely with that bow and arrow. So it's not like super convoluted or anything. You have a bit of magic for melee, and you run around shooting at birds, shooting at gnomes, shooting at all the different fairy tale thingies that run around. You talk to mushrooms too.
I always wanted to but basically play a video game where I could be a 10-year-old guy named Kyle and just shoot birds in my backyard.
You can do that in this game. It's bound to the good and evil system that this game has, actually.
Ooh, there's a morality?
yeah, you have a morality, and whatever you do influences that. There's a little bit of differences in dialogue. From what I have seen, it works better with the good side than with the evil side, because the evil side is more like, I'm just surviving, I'm doing everything to survive. And it doesn't work as well because you do have an evil counterpart in your head at all times that talks to you. And she
Ooh.
is absolutely amazing. I love that voice actress. She's like the seductress, sultry voice talent. And she's like, yeah, telling you to do evil shit because the people in the village have branded you as the new Baba, essentially, as the new witch, because you have like a birthmark on your face. And your sister went missing, and they all think you did it. You did something to her, and you are on the lookout for her. You don't know where she is, and yeah, you wake up, you go looking for her, and then this evil voice in your head comes around and tells
Is
you about a magical hut that you need to find.
is,
It's
your
it's
is your
intense.
is
It's
your
intense.
sister your twin?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I wasn't sure if this was that game, and then I looked it up. I was like, I think it's that game.
Yeah, it is that game. It is definitely that game.
So if you try to be evil, you're just kind of like bad, but then you have a seductress in your head who's like, well, I'm worse.
Yeah, kind of. It's not. I haven't played through the whole game in Evil, so I don't
Okay.
quite know if there's like a difference in ending or something. But from what I have seen, if you play Evil, it's really more like, okay, I'm doing this to survive, to find my sister, and you're not really evil. You're just like evil for survival's sake. And the voice in your head is really still the one who's evil.
Now, when it comes to this morality system, is it something that's just narrative, or is it more like Infamous, where like if you start leading towards a bad road, you can like do new combat or something that is focused towards that like bad route?
Yeah, it's more gameplay focused than narrative from what I have seen. Bye, Dylan. And yeah, you get different abilities, but they work similarly. They just have a different flavor. So I don't know, the good and evil system. At first, I was really excited about it. Now that I have tried a little bit more on the evil side, I'm more like, okay, this is not as fleshed out as I would have wanted it to be, I think. But as I said, I haven't played through the whole game in evil mode. There are a few different NPCs you talk to and stuff, but overall, it's still the same quests they send you on anyway. You're just evil doing them.
Okay.
Is
And
the
you talk
voice in
to
your head like
mushrooms.
when you're being evil and like instead of talking to a mushroom, you like stomp on it? Is the voice in your head at least like, yeah, do it?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
I love her. She was amazing. She was the best part of the game, honestly. And the voice acting is very, very good in general. Like the whole game it looks really like you are in a fairy tale. It's all like
Oh, it
bright.
looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks
And like
fantastic. It's bright
even like the
colors.
detail of everything, like even just looking at the bow and
Yeah.
just like whatever story it feels like that thing is telling based off. Like this is probably one of those games where it ended up being shown off, and I was like, "Oh shit, first person bow game, gimme!" And then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, how much is this? Like a what 30 full priced? Like how much is this one?
I honestly don't remember.
Because
I think it was like 30, yeah.
it is 30.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yep,
9
yep,
out of
yep.
10 on Steam.
I think I played about 15 hours to get through the main story.
Okay.
So there is definitely a bit of content there. And what I also really liked is that the bright color palette that looks so fairy tale-y and so childlike in a way is always juxtaposed with like the really harsh and brutal narrative of a classic folktale, because like classic folktales were made as cautionary tales, and they usually involve a lot of blood and killing. And you have
Mhm.
that also in this game, and I really enjoyed that one. That was a great aspect of the story. It got so dark and so creepy at points. I really, really liked that game. It had a very unique vibe that I haven't seen in another game yet.
Well, it sounds like the way you're describing it is making me think of like Hellblade. And especially something like this sounds it'd be much better with headphones in so you can hear that inner voice and almost kind of make it yours, which is one of my favorite aspects of just constantly being bombarded like I am in my head at all times.
Yeah, it's not quite it's not on that level of
Yeah.
yeah, it's more like this is a voice that's constantly taunting you to do something different, and she's just very, I found her very enjoyable, both of them, and in talking to each other, trying to manipulate each other in ways, talking over each other, and also the voice sometimes taking over Yaga's body and
Ooh.
speaking in that voice. And then Yaga has to go, oh no, that's not what I meant. Thing. I really, really like that.
Good morning, Yaga. We're putting on 2 different socks this morning. Before we go out killing, remember that diet you're on? We're eating a sweet roll.
That's pretty much exactly the way she was. You also have a very cool black cat that
I love it.
that starts talking in the middle of the game in this very, very baritone voice with the Slavic accent. It's brilliant. It's
Awesome.
amazing.
Any game that has like a little cat companion, like
Yeah, it's not
there's
a companion, but it's around often
I
enough.
mean even so like that because like I think about like Gravity Rush or and whatnot having that, especially because of how similar. Well, how first off, how does this cat look?
It's a cloud of black smoke
Yep,
in cat form.
yep, yep. Because now all I'm thinking Gravity Rush, a black galaxy style cat, Hi-Fi Rush. I don't know what the fuck's going on with all these similarities. We have this beatbox black robot cat, and now we have some go eat a sweet roll demon cat.
Yeah, exactly. The ending of the game, I think they went a bit off the deep end. They wanted it to be so meaningful and kind of forgot to finish their story, I feel like.
Mm.
Um I after I finished the game, I went to Reddit and everyone was like, "What the hell just happened here?" So you have that. You can you can definitely understand what they were trying to say, I think at least, but they did it in a bit of an this has to have artistic value way, if you know what I
Hmm.
mean.
Mm.
Yeah, but I had a lot of fun with the game. I really liked the design and the voice acting and how that all fit into this fairy tale folk tale genre that they chose. It was just very, very well done. I love that.
So whenever we get to a point where we end up finishing a game, we like to put like a little out of 10 score next to it. So after you fully finishing your first playthrough of Blacktail, what would you give it out of 10?
I think a 7. 7 seems fair.
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah. I
I
as I
find it so
said,
hard,
yeah, me
especially
too.
with like you play a game and it's like the way I think of it, like, was this good? Was this okay? Was this pretty good? Was it great? And I feel like it always falls on a 7. Like I can't be that mean to it, and it wasn't garbage, but it really didn't. It wasn't great. So you know what? 7.
I do think it was great. I think what I judge games on mostly nowadays is if I had fun with it. If I had fun
Yeah.
with it and if it somehow connected to me in an emotional way, that because that's just kind of how I engage with video games, and it did. It did that for me. So
Hmm.
for me it's a good game.
I gotta change up my little thing. The way that I work, especially if it's a game that I don't finish, if it's a $60 game and it releases, if I don't beat it and I put at least 24 hours, an entire day of my life into it, I'm satisfied. I have yet to beat Octopath Traveler, and I have a good almost 50 hours in that game. I'm satisfied. I'm happy. I got my worth out of it.
All right. Well, this is a 15-hour game.
Yeah,
I
it's a
know, and it's for
$30.
this is for $30. But you like, I feel like that fit. Like, you know what? I feel like I'd be satisfied with that. You know.
I am, as time has become, or free time specifically has become less and less in my grasp, I appreciate more and more the smaller scale games.
same.
Absolutely.
Absolute same.
I mean, all the smaller scale games are what's doing things different and being more exciting anyway.
But
You don't
also,
see some $60 Escape Academy game coming out, please.
That is true.
Please.
but also, I feel like with things like Game Pass, I've become a bit disconnected from how much did I pay for this game and what did I get out of it. More like, okay, I have this anyway. Now I try it, and even if it's just like 3 hours, I still had a lot of fun with it. So
Mhm.
what the streaming, I guess, of games definitely has disconnected me a bit from the price tag, I think. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's just what happened naturally.
I mean, when it comes to Game Pass, in my opinion, it's a very, very good thing because for only 15 or so bucks a month, I'll be able to, whenever I want, play Starfield, A Plague's
Oh
Tale,
yeah,
Atomic Heart, etc. I'm like, I don't fit. Are you kidding me? 3
Atomic
Subway
Heart.
footlongs, and I get to play all these games.
Yeah.
Did Blacktail make you cry?
No, it did not make me cry.
Okay.
No, it didn't.
I don't know
But
if you know, Dave, that's kind of her thing.
yeah, it is. If I cry, it's like an automatic 10 out of 10.
Then it looks like we got to get you a copy of Yakuza 0.
Well, I have a bit of a problem with JRPG, so I don't know.
Hold, but okay.
I don't, or like Asian made games.
Okay,
Let's say that.
so it's an action game more than anything.
Yeah, I know,
It's like,
I know.
Okay. So I have been kind of on a DLC kick. When we did Dave, when we did our New Year's, like our video game resolutions, before like I kind of switched to what you were doing and picking just like these are specific games I want to beat. One of mine was I want to actually keep up with DLCs for the games I really enjoyed.
You see, that is something that I told you is you could have said that. It didn't have to just be games. Like, that's just my thing. But if you had told me that at the time, I would have been like, that is odd. Because every once in a while, I get that same thing. It'll be the beginning of the year. Like, I think it was one of those, like, right after Assassin's Creed game came out. And I was like, maybe it was Origins. I'm like, I got to play the DLCs. Like, I want to push myself. And there was one year I did really well, and I might have played 4 DLCs. But that's still something that I want to do more of.
Yeah, they could be fun revisit. So I got 2 here, and I finished both of them. So Resident Evil Village, the Shadows of Rose DLC. Dave, I obviously know you played Resident Evil Village. Lyle, did you play this at all?
No, I've watched, I think, to the midpoint, but never finished watching a Let's Play.
Okay, there's gonna be spoilers.
Yeah, I don't mind. You can go full spoilers.
My first question before you go into it is based off how the story of 7 and 8 went. How good is this DLC? Is it like a full wrap up? Is it like, does it answer you a lot of questions?
Not exact. We'll get there. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm just gonna put up the full spoiler warning, and we'll just get into it.
Are we getting Resident Evil 9 starring Rose?
There's, it's so okay. All right, so you play as Rose, and your whole thing is you have these weird powers from being megamycete and mold and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a scientist dude that's like, it's totally safe, but I think you can, because they like preserved some megamycete, and he's like, you could use your powers to go into the memories of it. You'll be totally safe. It's just memories, and you should be able to get this crystal, which will allow you to get rid of your powers. So she's like, yes, everyone's making fun of me at school, which was, yes, obviously bullying sucks and is real. I think that was kind of a weak reason to just be like, I want to get rid of my powers because school.
How awful narratively.
Yeah.
Me and my dad are stopping the apocalypse from zombies and stuff, but stop! I'm not a loser.
Well, dad is dead. He died.
It doesn't matter. It's still like, oh my god, I'm saving the universe and everything, and Chris Redfield's kicking down every single door that he comes in contact with. But Wally.
Yeah. So you jump in there, and you are in Lady D's castle, and there are these like mold monsters, almost more reminiscent from Resident Evil 7.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of throughout, you unlock these powers which let you like freeze them or kind of shoot them back with your hand, and you have to use specifically white herbs instead of like red or green ones for your health in order to
Ghostwire
get that
Tokyo?
meter back. No, it's definitely not that in depth.
Okay.
Also, I do know that they added the third person mode to like the main game with this. This is it's fully third person, so it's not first person.
No!
There
Strong feelings.
there might
Very
be a way to
strong.
make it first person.
Ew, yucky. Like, I got gum
But,
in my hair now.
It's, yeah, it's third person. The whole time you're getting like you're getting help because you jump in here and she's never actually experienced this because when this was all going down, she was a baby broken into multiple pieces. So
Classic.
she's like actually experiencing these monsters for the first time and is like super freaked out. And this writing keeps appearing just like out of thin air, just like this bright writing of like hints or what to do.
Can I
And
get a
they're like,
recap?
just call me Michael. I'm your fallen angel.
Because Rose was a baby, and now she's a kid, and
She's like a teenager.
Yeah, but wasn't she a baby at the beginning of 8?
Yes.
How the fuck she become a teenager?
Well, you remember at the
Roaring.
very end of 8,
Yeah.
she's like a teenager, that ending cutscene.
Why?
Time?
Growing.
She was a baby.
Time happens, and
If
people
you
grow.
stopped aging, can you tell us now, please?
Yeah. I feel like this is a pretty straightforward concept here.
I'm just feeling very Benjamin Butthurt right now. I'm just so confused.
Is it because of the third person thing?
Well, no, that ignites a rage in me. I'm more so confused.
Oh, okay.
All I remember is it was a baby, and then it got big.
Yeah, time passed.
It's too much time. And Chris still looks great. Not a single wrinkle.
Well, you don't see Chris once in the DLC, for what that's worth. So you're going through like Lady D's castle, but she's not there. It's instead, you remember the really large merchant guy?
Yeah.
It's like a fucked up version of him with a mask, and he's sending all these like fake roses at you. That's like what all the creatures are. They're roses that get eaten by the mold and become the mold creatures. So you just find like dead versions of yourself all over the place. But you kind of like, you run through the little, like a mini version of Lady D's castle. You get through that. Then you go to like the real like horror version of Resident Evil Village, where there was the giant crawling baby that tries to eat you and you have to run away from.
House Beneviento.
Instead, yeah, so it was instead mannequins of your mom that you had to always look at, and if you weren't looking at them, that's when they would like start coming at you. So
Weeping angels.
Pretty much, yes. Weeping angels was out too. Exactly. That's what it was. You don't go to any of the other areas, but I think that's fine because those were kind of the most memorable, those first two. But to kind of tie up the story, it was not exactly a surprise. The writing that was coming in the sky or on walls and stuff was Ethan as part of the Megamycete.
Mm-hmm.
You found out, I don't remember the main bad person in Resident Evil Village, what her name was, but she was like the start of it all with all the mold, and she wanted to bring back her daughter. That's why she needed Rose as like a vessel. You remember that at all, Dave?
The Halo woman.
Yeah. The really hard final boss.
In Village?
Yes.
The one who became the giant tentacle?
Yes.
Because all I'm remembering is the Heisenberg fight at the end. And then you're walking down to like that giant... Oh, you talk about the little old... Oh, the little old lady. The little old lady who lived in a shoe.
Yeah, but it turns out it's not really a little
Yeah.
old lady.
She's actually an orphan who's wanting to fuck the dad the entire time.
I don't
What?
remember that.
Yeah, have you not seen the movie Orphan, where it's this little girl who gets
No.
adopted and she's like 30 and wants to fuck the dad?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm
They
not.
got that movie got a sequel
Yeah.
just
Or the
recently.
prequel. I
Oh,
think.
it's a pre. Either way,
think so.
more dad fucking. So I'm down.
Anyway, you fight that final boss again. Turns out, surprise, surprise, it was real. All of this. Rose actually gets to interact with Ethan because she never did. And
Resident
even
Evil's
though
got
we
some
all
weird grandma kink. In 7,
We-
it was the grandma. In 8, it's
yeah,
the
it was
grandma.
the grandma. It was Evelyn, which Evelyn
Yeah.
actually does kind of like come back in this a little bit, but
that makes
not gonna get
sense.
super into it. They do the thing with Ethan where, so you know how you can see all the models of his face out there, like we know what it looks like, but you never actually see it in the game.
Yeah.
They were teasing it so much in the DLC where you would see like this part of him,
Yeah.
you'd see like the bottom half, or you could like kind of see from the side, but they never showed it. I was kind of like, we all know. You
Yeah.
don't have to do this.
It's not even that exciting. He's just a white guy. Like,
He's such a generic person.
yeah.
But I kind of enjoyed the commitment to it. But the main thing is that the game ends with the same exact cutscene, or the DLC ends with the same exact cutscene from the end of Village.
With
So
the bus?
this
Or,
happens like
driving away.
yeah, so like you get on the bus, you go visit Ethan's grave on his birthday, you get in the car, and then the mysterious person is walking up to you on the road, and then windows come, or you don't actually see them, but people have modded and zoomed in, and it's Ethan. So it ends the same way, which means that this was happening like slightly before that, and this just kind of added more context. But this opened a door for a theory, which I think makes sense because I had to look it up because I was like, I wanted more of an answer than that. The theory now is, since the molds, the Megamite seat, all that was the beginning of everything, and if that was Ethan at the end and he also came through it with you, like he's back, then the theory is that with Resident Evil 9, it will be Chris and Rose working together, maybe Ethan, and this would essentially allow for them to pull in all sorts of past dead villains or characters from the Resident Evil universe, since they are all technically mold that Megamycete, and they all they hinted multiple times that there being like multiple strands of memory in here from all sorts of different directions and stuff. So that could be a cool direction they go in.
As
A
long
Resident
as it's
Evil
first
multiverse.
fucking person.
Pretty much, yeah. But it was an enjoyable DLC. It was a fun revisiting. It was kind of nice being back in Resident Evil Village because that was a really good game.
Resident Evil is just the like modern day version of Pokemon in the way it releases. They have their set of remakes, they have their remakes, they have their spin-offs. They're just doing the Pokemon thing, and now it's all connected. We're getting the new Gen 9 of Resident Evil coming out.
It's technically always been connected. It has always been in like one world.
Yeah, but still, like it's all just this, and now we're getting like, oh, the Gen 8 release of Resident Evil. We're also getting the remake of Gen 4 of Resident Evil coming out at the same time as we got the VR version of Gen 4 of Resident Evil. It's all just Pokemon. Chew.
It's a franchise.
It's that's thank you, Lile. It's just a franchise.
It's
no,
Pokemon.
but I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Dave.
No, don't agree.
Thank you. I'm right all the time.
I also finally hopped back in and did the Isle of Bigsnax, the Bugsnax DLC.
Did you enjoy that game?
I loved Bugsnax.
I mean, just look at
Loved
the
it.
burger schnauzer behind him.
It's a bunger?
That's true.
It's a burger schnauzer.
It's a bunger.
Burger schnauzer.
But yes, I found the writing in that game very entertaining. And the overall loop of just like going to a new area and seeing weird Bugsnax, catching them could be a little wonky for sure. and then feeding them to the villagers and making them monstrosities is very good. Isle of Bigsnax is okay. It doesn't have the writing definitely didn't hit me the same way, and basically you go to this ancient island that came out from under the sea, and all the Bugsnax are really big there, so you have to throw
Dynamax.
this shrinking spice from jars at them to make them regular size Bugsnax, and then you can catch them.
So they are the same Bugsnax, just bigger.
No, they
different.
also it's like I want to say maybe 10 to 12 different ones that's on this island. It's essentially just kind of like a new area, like a different map piece from the original game. That okay. The worst part of Bugsnax, as much as I love the game, is how wonky it can be to actually like trap some of the Bugsnax and catch them. This made it, the whole shrinking thing made it too much. It added another element that didn't need to be there. Especially because it was all on a timer. You pick up the shrinking spice, you have 30 seconds to throw it to make a Bugsnax shrink. Then once you make them shrink, you only have so much time until they become big again. You can't catch them while they're big at all.
That's not, I don't like that.
No,
that makes my tummy hurt.
Yeah, I got frustrated with some of them. So I was like, we gotta start this whole process over again now because it got lit on fire, which makes it run around like crazy, and you can't catch while it's on fire. And then it hit me, and now I'm on fire, so I have to wait for this to all reset. That happened a lot.
Oh, that sucks.
But they did add a bunch of smaller things to the main game, which they give you your own house, which starts out small, and then you get a bunch of like tasks in your mailbox from all the other villagers that you can do, which I was doing all them and then stopped because it was extremely repetitive. They're basically just fetch quests of like, go catch me this Bugsnax. Go catch me this Bugsnax. That was it. But you do end up like, the more you do, I ended up with like a 2-story house and getting a bunch of decorations so you can customize it however you want, which I always like that in games. But yeah, it also kind of fun being back in the world of Bugsnax, but I just wish they weren't big.
Yeah, I understand. But it still sounds like a fun world, at least.
Yes, it is a fun world, and I didn't mention this with Shadows of Rose. That, I think, was $20, which was only maybe like a 4-hour experience, the DLC.
Yeah.
It came with like a bunch of other stuff. It was like, because you had to buy a specific thing, so it came with stuff like the reverse thing that they did.
Blech.
Yeah. So, like, that was a little like, oh, okay. Isle of Bigsnax, that whole DLC, everything that was added was completely free. So, there is that element to it. They just kind of added it to the game. You could just jump in and do it whenever. Which I appreciate.
That's cool. That's very cool. I like that.
Aww.
All right. We got one more game here.
Yes, it's exciting. I've been excited. I've been waiting, and especially because I didn't play the Callisto Protocol, I've been waiting to scratch that itch. It's winter. I have dry skin. I get so fucking itchy. But Dead Space just released, and I have put only about 3.5 hours into it so far. Don't you shake your goddamn white head at me. I've only put about 3.5 hours into it so far, and I am just hit chapter 5. So I'd say I'm about like a quarter. There's 12 chapters, so I'm roughly a third of the way in, and it's been a very long time since I played and beat the original. But even just from starting it out and just seeing some of those iconic like shots of like walking up to the USG Ishimura for the first time, they really did a spectacle when it came to the graphics and the atmosphere and just how well each environment is put together. And just I've seen people talk about it. The lighting team needs like a little pay raise and a little like good vacation, because the lighting adds to the atmosphere like nothing else. With how shiny all the metal is, even like reflecting off of your armor, and just like seeing like the slime and like whatever glisten off the necromorphs as they're coming for you, everything just looks so good. It's very pretty.
Yeah, so I'm 45 minutes into this. I played for a little bit last night. Those 45 minutes were vastly more enjoyable than pretty much anything I played in the Callisto Protocol. And yes, it's that lighting alone, especially the one part where you have to turn off. You have like two out of three things you have turned on. Essentially, you need to have the lights turned off,
Yeah.
but your flashlight works, and there is like some shine. It's like legitimately scary.
I'm walking up to it and I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, we need the elevators. I would
Mhm.
like life support, and we don't
Yes.
need lights, but I would very much so like them. So I'm like, all right, I'd rather have life support and get the shit scared out of me than die. So let's go figure it out. And they added a whole bunch of new. I mean, most of the things, most of the additions have been either to the narrative, because a big part of them has wanting to sort of spread out the first one so that it matches up and makes a more cohesive series with some of the information and details from 2 and 3, to which the coolest thing, it's been forever since I played Dead Space 2, but the fact that they were able to bring back the voice actor from Dead Space 2 and 3 to reprise his role, because in the original, Isaac was a voiceless protagonist, and now he's fully voiced. He's fully facial animations. He takes off his helmet all the time. I will say, he looks cross-eyed constantly, and is always looking like he's either slightly constipated or just like a like he's got that face of just like, oh god. And he's gonna make that face later in the game based off how I know how the first one ends. So he has a reason to, but he looks stressed out and just like, well, time to put something else on my shoulders and deal with this now. Like there's
Listen,
always
voice
something.
is the voice fitting that, or is that just how he looks?
He's he's got a very quieter voice, and he's always just like, god damn it, like, all right, we gotta go do this. It's like, I don't care, we gotta do this, like, it has to get done. I'm not dying here. Like, he's just like, oh fuck, now what, like that sort of thing. But at the
Yeah,
same time,
he's
getting
stressed out.
scared constantly and
It's a
running
stressful
around.
situation. There's monsters everywhere, and he lost his glasses.
He
That's
is,
all.
and he's looking for his girlfriend, and really wants to find out where she is. And they did
Yeah.
amazing with like those video screens that pop up, and it's almost like an actual webcam back and forth.
So I do want to point something out. So I never played the original Dead Space. This is my first jump in. I don't know if the original one was like this, but something I noticed towards the end of the 45 minutes I played last night that I thought was genius is that there is not a single UI element just on your screen whatsoever. It is
I don't
all
I
like
don't fully
on like
remember with the original one, but like, I mean, that
okay.
was a big part of playing into the atmosphere, because it's supposed to be dark. You're supposed to not know
Right.
what's coming next. So I mean, like I said, I can't fully remember, but if so, like, that even adds more to it.
Yeah, just it's like also like your health bar is like the big thing on your spine. Basically, your stasis
That was
thing
a
is a
big
little
part of the
meter.
original, is the fact of the atmosphere. It's like, how do we incorporate the UI and the HUD on your person? So you see the stasis, and it's like,
Right.
Y will be used to reload the stasis. B is used to bring your health back up. So like, everything is like on your person, and especially like when you're aiming, you see how much ammo you have left, etc. Like that.
Yeah. So I should have said there's no HUD is what I should have said instead of UI. But
Yeah, it's very
yes,
well crafted.
right. It actually looks like when they show like the gameplay demo at a big event and there's no HUD whatsoever, and then you play the game and like half the screen is that.
Yep.
It actually looks like what they would show.
And because
Scorn
of
did that too, right? Because of atmosphere reasons.
yeah,
I didn't
I
play
need to.
Scorn.
I still need to try it. I remember playing Agony back in the day, and was so absolutely heartbroken and disappointed by it. So having another hellish style puzzle themed whatever the fuck this is, I'm nervous.
I think I'm one of the 5 people on planet Earth that actually really enjoyed Scorn, but I also I also knew what I was getting into, because people had already said no, it plays more like a puzzle game than a horror shooter.
I
So
do
I didn't
love
expect
puzzle
that.
games.
Yeah. I
So
really enjoyed the atmosphere.
I need to give it a shot, but I got a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah,
But Dead Space gives me a good taste in my mouth.
Ugh.
Mm-mm-mm.
Nothing I've seen
Mom,
from that game is like, yummy.
Well,
mom.
It's
maybe
all pretty
not.
gross.
I I mean, going off of that, they do make the necromorphs look really good, but at the same time, I don't know if it's just because I played the first one and I know something's coming. It's definitely, I feel like the atmosphere is adding more of just like a constant level of anxiety and not
Yeah.
necessarily anything that is just scary. And especially like any like jump scares, they're not scary.
I
Either that
did
or I expect them.
I was gotten by a couple.
Hmm.
Specifically, like, I'm exploring, someone's going to the end of the hallway, and then there was just like a quick thing running across there.
Yeah.
Or there was one specific one where I went to like a small locker room and like the vent shot out because
Hmm.
like it seemed like someone was about to break in. And then there was all sorts of noises and you can hear them crawling all around, but nothing ever actually came out to fight me. So all it
Yeah.
did was like make me sit in a corner with my gun out, just like, where is it?
Yep.
That's
It's
really good atmosphere building, though.
Yeah, no, it totally was. Like it's I love it.
they do a really good job with it. Um, but I mean, I still want to be scared because video games do a much better job for me than movies and whatnot. At
Yeah.
least giving you that sort of fear. But even like I at the end of chapter 4, it's one of those things where it's been so long I don't remember every single aspect and like what is happening next. But I remember in chapter 4, I walked into this one big room as I'm heading on the bridge towards like the whatever, like the cockpit or the whatever room, and I walked in and I go, oh, I remember this room. And shortly after was a boss fight, and it
Yeah.
was not like a scary boss fight, but on the second time around going towards it, I'm just like, I'm not, I'm just uncomfy. I'm not scared, but I'm just like, I'm running around and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh god.
I think that's also something that I almost prefer in like a horror game or movie when it's like really creepy atmosphere that gives you like you're constantly on that edge as opposed to just burn jump scare.
If House
Same.
Beneviento was an entire game.
Right, like that. Yes, that
God.
or God, what was the name of that Netflix show that was really good? I don't remember. It was a horror show. I think you watched it, Dave. It was the family and the house, and sometimes they're adults, sometimes they're kids. Haunting.
Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, thank you.
I didn't
Yes,
watch
like
it.
that. Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Get it
didn't
in.
get to. I want to.
It's really good. It is. It's that. Like there are jump scares, obviously, but it's that atmosphere. It's that always being on edge. I
No,
love
that was
that.
the show that Papa Derek wouldn't ever stop talking about.
Yeah, it's worth the watch.
Well, I think Dead Space is worth a play because the original
I
still
agree.
holds up amazingly, and this version so far is I love it. Hearing Isaac's voice and just like having more of that immersion and feeling more connection towards the characters. I'm having a lot easier time. I mean, as a kid, you don't really care. You're just playing a game, but I'm having a lot more easier of a time to focus in on like the narrative and how they're explaining it and talking about the marker and everything. Like, have you played the original Dead Space, Lyle?
Mm-mm. I have not.
It's it's a lot of side information of like stuff on screens and like audio logs and stuff that kind of like helps build the story up as you're going through it. So if you're only paying attention and beelining, it's like, what do you mean there's some alien rock shaped thing and it's turning people into zombies, and like that's all you're really getting out of it. But it's a whole bunch of stuff, and especially with the level of certain things, like I forgot in the beginning of the game, one of the things you're doing in the first third is, oh shit, the engines are offline on the Ishimura and we're currently falling towards the planet, we gotta go turn the engines back on. Like there's a lot more, I want to say, oomph to certain scenes instead of just like, all right, we got to go do this. Like, oh shit, we're falling towards the goddamn planet right now. We got to fix this. I, I like it. It's
Let it
just
crash.
let it. You know what? It's better that way.
Sounds like a very good remake.
Oh, it's so far it's fantastic, and based off one of the most iconic points is the ending and the final boss fight, and I cannot wait to see what that looks like in this new remake graphic style and gameplay and everything. I already have 4 full weapons too. I don't know if you found any other ones besides the plasma cutter.
No, I just have plasma cutter right now.
Okay, I mean that's pretty much. I got to a
I
point where leading up to chapter 4, I was really good stocked, and then after that boss fight, I had nothing.
Okay, because I was gonna say right now I have so much ammo. Because first of all, I am like exploring and picking everything up, but then I'm also it's very easy to just take out one of their legs and they fall, and you just run up and stomp like a madman.
It's the game has that classic Metroidvania style thing. So like I'll do my thing. I'm like, where do I have to go? And then I'm like, all right, go to this door. I'm like, I'm gonna go this way first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to news.
No.
We have a few news stories that one of which I am a little upset about is that the Lord of the Rings Gollum was delayed again.
It's still releasing this year though. This is still your
It's
best year of gaming ever, Dylan.
maybe.
Do we really think that is gonna be a good game though at this point?
So what I've said with this is that I don't even think it looks like it's this great game or anything. I just want a Lord of the Rings game. So I'm
Fair.
excited for that. It looks like such a generic
This game
old
is going to
stealth
release with the most powerful 7 that has ever come out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything special at all, but it's Lord of the Rings, so I want it.
Like, I remember
but-
we were talking about Forspoken and be like, this game just feels like it's going to be a 6 when it comes out. And as soon as the reviews come out, IGN's like, yeah, it's a 6. It's not that good.
Yeah.
I'm like, this game is just going to be a base level 7 and nothing can move it.
Yeah, I think that that's probably where it will land. They do their fiscal year a little differently, apparently, but the range right now is between April and September of this year.
Wide range.
Yeah,
I'll be busy
hopefully
playing
it
Hogwarts
happens, 'cause
Legacy for the third time.
This was supposed to come out in like 2021. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
What will come out first, Lord of the Rings Gollum or Skull and Bones?
Lord of the Rings Gollum. Easily.
That is not the only delay that we have going on just recently. Warhammer 40k Darktide has been delayed for a console, and it hurts because I've been very excited looking forward to this one. I want a shooty version of these games. I'm done with the Vermintides. It is indefinitely delayed. They've been putting a lot of focus on their PC version following negative feedback. I don't know what they can do to Left 4 Dead games nowadays to make them more fun and not just be Left 4 Dead anymore.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by all the negative feedback because like there are issues with the game. Don't get me wrong, but like playing it, I had a good time with it. I mean, I knew exactly what I was gonna get out of it, but it was fun.
It's no Anacrusis, but still.
That game is special.
They did say that they'll focus on delivering a complete crafting system, a more rewarding progression loop, and continue to work on game stability and performance optimization. This is one that I was excited for, and I feel like it's just gonna end up coming out. It'll either slip directly into my radar, or I'll play 5 minutes of it and end up forgetting about it. But I want to shoot. I don't want to swing a sword and deal with rats and shit.
Sounded like a rat, a giant rat.
Peter Pettigrew.
My audition for Blacktail.
There you go.
You got the job.
The job of rat.
All right, Lyle, what you got over there?
Yeah, we have Neil Druckmann said that Naughty Dog is done with the Uncharted series in an interview with BuzzFeed, where they actually talked about the Last of Us series. He said that the story of Nathan Drake has come to an end, and that Sony did not pressure them to make another The Last of Us game, but they are currently focused on the multiplayer for The Last of Us, wanting to give people a new story mode, but in co-op, I guess.
Yeah,
Have you watched that series, by the way?
I have not. I think Dave has.
I cannot wait for tonight's episode. I am fully caught up. Episode 2 is great. I cannot wait for episode 3, and we have already been approved for season 2. So, oh boy, I cannot wait for episode 1 of season 2.
It's really good. I really liked it.
I see. I hate when they do these things because it's like, hi, we're Naughty Dog, and we're gonna do what we want to do, and we don't know what's happening. Uncharted is a how fucking big whatever franchise. You think PlayStation's just gonna let that like sweep under the rug and keep going? Naughty Dog's not gonna make it. Uncharted's gonna keep being made though.
That's
That's
fair.
probably true.
And especially how they set up with like the post-credit scene of Uncharted 4, basically picking up with his daughter. Like they're leaving it fully open. You can do whatever you want with it, but Uncharted's not going away.
That makes sense, especially as Naughty Dog, like for years now, any game they come out with is huge for PlayStation. So it would make sense that PlayStation would be like, yeah, whatever you want to do, just do it and make us more money. But
Yeah.
well,
I mean, he
we'll have
also said
Insomniac go make the next Uncharted.
he also said in that
literally.
interview that the Uncharted series was the one that made them the most money. So
Yeah.
For now.
for now.
All right. I have great news for everyone. I know everyone's going to care deeply about this. All right. Like a Dragon, Ishin is coming out soon. It is the Samurai Yakuza game. Very excited for that. And they went ahead and added my favorite wrestler, Kenny Omega, into the game as a support character. You summon him. They added these in Like a Dragon, or Yakuza Like a Dragon, which was Yakuza 7, with the new characters and such. But he is the essence of the One-Winged Angel, which is his finishing move based on Sephiroth from Final Fantasy 7. So I'm very excited for this. It's not like he's going to be a major part of the game, but it's two of my favorite things colliding, and I love that.
Why does he not have a wrestling finishing move, though?
So the One-Winged Angel is his wrestling finishing move.
Okay.
But it's named after Sephiroth from Final Fantasy 7.
I understand.
Kenny Omega,
now.
the wrestler, is also like a big gamer.
Okay. I see.
Yeah. I think
Dave
Dave's
is
coming
coming back now.
Yeah.
All right. Are we done?
I mean,
talking
Dave, you're
about
going to
boring?
play Like a Dragon Ishin, aren't you?
It'll take a while, but I do want to play it.
So you'll be in the Kenny Omega verse with me right there.
Is it just a name? If I say it, will you do the same? Kenny Omega.
Oh yeah, okay.
I could not give 2 to 7, not even one shit when it comes to wrestling. And this glasses boy comes up to me. He's like, "Guess what? Guess what happened in the wrestling space? Guess who's doing the? Oh yeah, well, MJF got his toe stubbed." And I'm just like, "Oh, cool."
Last night was the Royal Rumble. WWE Cody returned from his injury. He was the last entrant. He won the Royal Rumble. He's going to be challenging Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and is probably going to win.
Does he have one of the big what are they called? Like what they throw over their shoulder?
The championship belt.
Yeah, the championship belt.
Kenny Omega does actually have a couple right now. One in AEW, one in New Japan, which is the big Japanese wrestling company. But Royal Rumble SWW, that was separate. Like that was Cody's return. He does not have a belt, but he is going to challenge Roman Reigns for his belt and probably win it.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, it's great stuff. All right.
Just
Wrestling
recently,
hour's done.
Xbox and Bethesda developer had a direct. We had a whole bunch of information come out from that. Nothing too jumpy around and exciting, except towards the end. Starting off, Minecraft Legends has a release date of April 18th with some PvP shown off. I don't know how to feel about the Minecraft games. I played the previous one that came out, and I feel like anything that comes out Minecraft-wise that's not base Minecraft, I don't care. But I'll try it.
Yeah, it's Game Pass. So it's coming to Game Pass, so it just lets you jump in and be like, is this something I want to play?
Yeah, I had decent fun with the last one, and I thought it was very boring. I don't even remember what it was called.
Minecraft
Dungeons, that's what it was. Because I read Minecraft Legends, I'm like, didn't I play this? Like, what is this?
Different.
I've never played Minecraft.
Ooh.
Never.
Interesting.
Ooh. It's good.
I'm not a gamer.
It's fun.
I have been expelled from the game.
Minecraft's not an indie game anymore, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's way past that.
Oh yeah. After that, they showed off some Forza Motorsport, which is apparently still coming this year. It will have 20 locations and over 500 cars, both of which will have returning and new ones. If it's not Forza Horizon, I don't care.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Getting into the exciting part of the show, Hi-Fi Rush. Tango
Yeah.
Gameworks have jumped out of their element with a new rhythm game. It is currently out now on Game Pass, so which we love Game Pass. Please sponsor us. It is a cool rhythm fighting game that you kind of run around to the beat. You're hitting enemies, showing off combos. I will say I've been having a little bit of issues when it comes to some things, but you know what? Whatever. We're not talking about that. And you're playing to the beat. It's a very welcoming, but for anyone who struggles with that kind of stuff, there's easy. It's not that hard.
That easy is for me. That's for people like
Yes.
me. Over
Very
30,
important.
it's like done.
So yeah, it doesn't. I'll save it. I'll save it for another time when we're talking about this game. I'll save it.
You're a rhythm game boy. You don't get
Yeah.
to say anything.
I won't say anything.
Along with it is one of the coolest things. The fact is art style and the animation, especially how it switches back and forth from the gameplay to sort of like an anime sort of style cutscene. It all works together very well, and even just from like 5 seconds in the spotlight, this game is gonna go far, especially for this year.
Yeah.
We got some new Elder Scrolls Online, if anyone still plays that. There's a new class, the Arcanist, the Analyst. In the next update,
I think
the
so.
Necrom takes players back to Morrowind. You can play all previous 20 chapters and DLCs for a free limited time if you have the base game, to which who knows what that is anymore. There's like 9 different versions.
It's the game that's called Elder Scrolls Online. I think it's $20.
Finally, ending off on something very, very exciting for me. Redfall had an extended look at gameplay for the different classes, and it is coming on May 2nd. And I cannot wait, especially because we've had release dates come and go. What?
This after this was shown, I was seeing online like a lot of negative reactions to Redfall, and I don't
Because
know
everyone's
why,
a baby. They've been having negative reactions since the pre-alpha screenshots have come out. It's a game. It looks good. Let me shoot things.
It looks like
and have
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like Dead Island and Ghostwire Tokyo had a baby and watched way too much Twilight.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good description.
I think that's just standard for games now, though, right? You just complain before you ever get your hands on it.
Pretty much.
And then 2 years later, it's like, oh my god, we didn't know what we had.
Exactly.
Everyone's very good at complaining.
And I'm really good at wanting Redfall. Give it, but I can wait because Hogwarts is coming out and I need that more.
Like,
do you know what class you're going to play yet?
For Redfall?
Mm-hmm.
You see, I'm between two. It's either the one who is like I'm relating it to Borderlands, so like the Siren, the one who can call like the elevator and the magic, or I'm very big on like the assassination sniper type techie guys. So there's that one dude with like the special eye and that stuff, and he's got his little bird friend. I want to choose him.
They all looked different from each other, like different enough.
Yeah. But when you said what class am I picking, I immediately thought of Hogwarts Legacy. I'm like, well, I'm going to go as Hufflepuff. I'm going straight into potions, and I'm going to go to Transfiguration. Potions and Transfiguration are classes.
No, but
you might be skipping them, but I'm not.
Not in that sense. That's like a school sense.
I don't smell anything.
Like English class. All right, Lyle, we got one notable game release, and I know it's something you're looking forward to. So what is it?
Yes, it's Season, A Letter to the Future, coming out on January 31st for PS4, PS5, and PC. And I'm very much looking forward to this because this is looking right up my alley. I hope I'm gonna cry. I want to.
It
because
seems
I
like
want this to be one of my favorites of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, like exploration, just human experiences, recording nature, people, and connecting to them with their personal stories just seems like something that I will very much enjoy.
And
Dylan,
also, like,
why
tied
didn't we
into
put
a weird...
down why didn't we put down the new SpongeBob SquarePants game on notable game releases? How is that not notable to you?
Is it notable? I feel like
A
the
brand.
last few
I
SpongeBob
mean,
games that have come
I'm
out
not
are just
gonna
kind of like,
play it,
yeah, they're not
but
too good.
it's a brand new SpongeBob game, my guy.
All right,
Oh my
but
God.
you prepare that. With season, it's also tied into this weird world of like, is the season ending? Like, when's it gonna end? And that seems like a very bad thing in that world. So
Yeah.
Or is there enough flavor? Do we need more seasoning? Are we good? Are we good now?
no, it's not that.
I don't know if if it's connected to environment in any way. I haven't really figured that out. It feels like it is though.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it is.
Yeah, and I really enjoy those games as well if they are well made. so,
Endling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, tell us about SpongeBob, Dave.
There's a new SpongeBob game. People are excited. PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch January 31st.
They are excited. I've seen no one talk
Well, the
about
people who are
this new
excited for the
SpongeBob
game are excited. I already said I'm not going to play it.
Oh,
All right.
Never played Minecraft. Never watched a single episode of SpongeBob.
That is, I
Jesus.
think, the bigger crime of the
And
two.
you have bags of milk? What the fuck's going
Yeah.
on?
And you-
It's a weird country here. I think
You-
that's
is
just a me
SpongeBob,
thing,
like-
though.
okay, yeah. So, like, is it like a readily available thing there?
It is. It is.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it was just like a little bit after my time, like going from kid to teenager.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
But I know a lot of people who like SpongeBob. Just
SpongeBob
not
is
in my
excellent.
circle.
You're part of the anti-SpongeBob circle.
Anti-coffee, anti-SpongeBob,
I
anti-Minecraft.
Sure, I'll hop in there just for the coffee part.
Yeah.
I do want to say we do have some breaking news.
Oh boy.
You can apparently pet cats in Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay. Is that
But
breaking
not dogs.
news?
Are there only cats?
Is there dogs too?
There's a lot.
Well, the breaking news is cats can be pet.
All right. On that note, we're gonna end this. Lile, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Check out her YouTube channel. It is very good, especially if you are into indie games. It's perfect for that.
So good. I'm just so good, you guys. I make fantastic content. Please come check me out.